Well, with the look of this beautiful plant, you'd think I was growing in the beaches of Hawaii, but in fact, I'm in Chester County, Pennsylvania, Zone 6B, 7A, and I have this glorious banana plant growing in this large container here on my deck. And I wanted to create a video showing you guys, giving some details on how you can best grow your banana plants in containers right on your decks, your porches, and patios. Now, while I do live in Zone 6B, 7A, that actually does open up my garden to growing some cultivars and one species of bananas in particular, the Musa which is noted to be hardy down to Zone 6. I could in fact grow them in the ground, but I prefer growing them in containers because I love the look of them on the deck. It really creates that lovely tropical energy. So if you are trying to grow your bananas in the ground, the growing conditions are going to be very similar to what I'm going to be describing by growing them in containers. And as you can see right here, I have a little pup that's been growing out of this mama plant. So at the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys how to propagate them, as well as we're going to overwinter them so that you can know exactly how you can save your plants from one season to the next. But let's start with some of the basic growing conditions. Now, to put it quite simply, you really just need two conditions. That's a lot of sun and a lot of water. And if you get those conditions right, you can expect at least an inch of growth per week or an entire new leaf every week. And we're not talking small little leaves here. We're talking big, huge, gigantic leaves. You can see how small this plant was when I started it a few months ago and how glorious it has grown over the past 2 months into this beautiful, majestic plant. Now, in terms of the sunlight, I provide mine with morning sun. It gets direct sunlight between around 9 a.m. and 1:30 in the afternoon. So that's about 4.5 hours of really good direct sunlight. If you can provide it even more, up to 6 hours or beyond, they're going to love that as well. Now, you do need to note, if you get below 4 hours of sunlight, it's probably not going to grow as quickly or as lush. So you definitely want to make sure you're giving it enough sunlight. But the more sunlight you give it, the more moisture that it's going to need in order to stay looking its absolute freshest. Now, there's a couple tricks that you can employ in order to keep them hydrated, which we're going to go through here in a second. But in terms of watering, this is a plant that, you know, if you are a person that overwaters your plants or you're scared of killing your plants by drowning them, you simply cannot do that with the banana plants. They will take as much water as you can give them. But it can also be a little bit demanding if you do have them, you know, really hot summer, dry summer without a lot of rain. You may be needing to water your plants every single day. What will happen if they do get too dry, you can see the leaves will get a little bit limp. But as soon as they get rehydrated, they will plump right back up. They will also get a little bit of a limp appearance when that really hot, intense sun is hitting them, but as soon as it starts to cool down, the leaves will freshen up again. So I'm growing the cultivar called Ever Red, which is noted to grow up to 6 to 10 feet. In the ground, it will grow taller. In a container, this is about its maximum height. So in order to allow my plant to reach that maximum height, I want to be growing it in a rather large container. Now, I'm growing mine in a 15-inch plastic pot, which I have slipped inside of this ceramic container. So you can start to notice how the bigger size container is going to hold more potting mix. And when we're using potting mix, we want to use a very high quality potting mix that's going to allow for the water to be really retained well in that soil, but it's also going to be rich and full of nutrients, because as these plants are growing rapidly, they need a lot of nutrients as well. So I like to use this blend from Coast of Maine. Now, the other thing that I do, once I have it planted up nicely in my potting mix, I like to use a layer of wood chips or some sort of mulch on top, because that is also going to help keep my root system a little bit cooler, and it's going to lock that moisture into the soil so that when I water, there's not that instant evaporation when that really hot sun comes, but that mulch is going to trap that moisture in the soil so that your plant's roots stay hydrated. And the last trick that I like to employ in order to keep my plant really hydrated, and that is going to add an extra kind of, it's like an insurance policy that if it gets really dry, there's going to be some water underneath that its roots will find a way to soak it back up. Nice little thing you can do if you have a, you know, like me, a big plant. I like to put them on a little, I like to put them on wheels that I can move them around easily. You know, if I want to change up the scene on my deck, I can easily do so because this big mama, it's heavy. And because these plants grow so quickly, they're always regenerating new foliage. It's really important to remove old foliage as soon as you can. So leaves like this, I will always cut them off, and that's going to allow my plant to continue refocus its energy on new leaf creation. The old leaves will either start to turn yellow, brown, or they might just get droopy like this, and if they never plump back up, you can see this is at the lower end of my plant where it's where the new leaves are emanating from. It's at the basically it's the bottommost one. So a leaf like this, I have no remorse. I will go and cut that off, and because I know that a new larger leaf on top will quickly replace it. Okay, so now we're ready to propagate and remove this pup from the mama plant. Now there's really two kinds of pups that will be generated from a mama. Ones that are actually connected to the mama, and others that kind of travel, they have roots that travel underneath and then they pop back up, which it's kind of hard for me to tell if underneath this is like connected to the mama or not. But regardless, this is a good size plant already. I always want to wait for my pups to be like 12 inches in height before I try to remove them. So for me, the first thing, scoot some of this mulch out of the way. And you're going to want something like a hori-hori, which you can find in the description below, a link to one that I like to use, or just like a large serrated knife. The serration is going to be really important. Okay, so I'm going to take my serrated section and just start digging in. And basically, like in between them, that's going to be where the thickest material that you have to cut through is. Just try to go slow, but you don't have to be so gentle. You can be a little rough, it's okay. All right, finally. And you can see I have some nice roots in here. So I definitely had to use a little bit of more force to really get it out than I was anticipating. But you can see I have a nice little growth of roots down here, which I will start to detangle before we get it planted back up. And I'm going to keep it in this water until I'm ready to get it planted, which will be in just a couple seconds. Now, of course, you're going to have a big hole in this pot, so you're going to want to refill it with fresh potting mix. And just kind of get it down as well as you can. Move that mulch back on top. And now you're good to go. Now you definitely want to give this a really deep drink of water because it just went through a lot of stress, and it's going to want some water to help mollify it. And now with this guy, I have this nice good sized container I'm going to be planting it into. Definitely want to make sure you keep it in a good sized pot, and get that pot filled up about 2/3 of the way should be good. And we'll get it planted in here. Try to spread those roots out if you can. And you can kind of see about the soil line was about right here where you can see it changes color. So that's my cue. I want my soil to go up to about there. And then give it a really nice drink. And as you can see, I have the drip tray underneath this guy too, which I will ensure that it stays full. And as we remember from basic botany, a plant uptakes the water through its root system, and that's how it provides the moisture to the leaves. And we just did a number on its root system. So that means we want to reduce the amount of leaves on our propagation. So I'm going to remove a few of these. To leave just these like two leaves. And when it's nice and watered and that soil is a little bit wet, you can really kind of pack it down. Normally I wouldn't recommend that, but with the banana, it's going to be okay. We want it to be able to hold itself up. And now we just created a brand new plant. Now, there shouldn't be too much transplant shock because we did remove the extra foliage, but you might find a little bit of limping from the leaves over the next, week to two, but it will soon regenerate enough new roots to start propelling forward its growth. And one thing I noticed while I was propagating was this guy has a new pup. So I'm going to spin this around so that it gets more sunlight so that pup can start to really grow and replace the one that we just removed. Well, I think that's all for today. We will save the overwintering video for another time. But for now, you know how to grow your bananas really well in containers. Lots of tips to keep them growing nice and lush throughout the season, as well as how to propagate those pups to create more of the plants that you love. And if you did enjoy the video, give it a like. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, especially if you are on the lookout for that overwintering video, which we will be publishing in the next few months. Anyways, thanks for joining me here on Plant Vibrations. I'll catch you soon. Ciao.